When I was in preschool, I learned how to write my name. When I was in elementary school, book reports. High school, college, essays, resumes, cover letters, love letters, all the stuff that documents a life. But I never learned how to write what documents a death, that is, an obituary, until my little brother died. He was 18, just 3 months into his freshman year at Utah State University, when he died during a fraternity hazing. Undescribable loss, so much pain. Our family of 8 was now 7. Volunteering to write his obituary was an involuntary act. I needed to do something. Most pressing, I had to tell the world what an incredible kid it lost. And trust me, I expected that the whole world would read this. I expected it would transcend subscription stats, readership rates. I practically expected that the Associated Press would pick it up. What it transcended, of course, was our budget, because you pay by the word for obituaries, and I knew I had a lot to say. But what? How do you decide what to include in the highlight reel of a kid's life when you're also supposed to be telling the world how stupid it is that he died? How do you describe a kid's legacy when you're so angry and mad that he didn't have a chance to develop one? Well, you do what people in shock and grief often do. You force yourself. And just as I was forcing myself to breathe and to blink, I forced myself to look past the anger and focus on the good stuff. And there was plenty of good stuff. So together with my family, we picked out the highlights. We talked about Michael's accomplishments, charming the old folks at the retirement home where he worked, being the youngest member of the Volkswagen Bug Club of Salt Lake City. We talked about what he was looking forward to, becoming a firefighter, a well-traveled firefighter. And we talked about who we loved and how he showed it, watching old movies with my dad, spontaneously buying my mom fancy olives, saying I love you every chance he got. And of course, the pictures. Typically, obituary photos are in black and white. And of course, for a kid who lives in full color, how do you pick a picture? Well, remember, there was no budget, so we picked 2, of course. And we picked one of him as a little boy, very stoic, uncharacteristically so, in his first communion suit. And one of his graduation pictures, hinting at the man he might have become and forever memorializing that flip of the late 2000s. And we ended with this: funeral arrangements entrusted to the care of his family. So while I was writing his obituary, my sisters were planning for a funeral that would be attended by hundreds, including a shuttle bus of old folks and a procession of VW bugs. And my older brother, Georgie, well, he was handling the media and keeping a special eye on my folks. And my older brother, Jason, well, he's a mortician, so he was embalming my brother, a debt that I will never be able to repay. Surviving this grief and writing Michael's obituary, the greatest accomplishment of my life, one of them, right alongside paying off my student loans. A few years later, I would have the chance to do it again, because my older brother, Georgie, joined Michael, dying of a cancer so rare its memorial ribbon is actually a zebra print. But this time, I was experienced. And I had been wrong, because an obituary isn't about documenting a death. It's about writing a love letter. And I knew how to do that. And Georgie's obituary was just as expensive. Thank you.